It is 7 o'clock. Time to call this meeting to order. Secretary Severson, will you please call roll?
Senator Beckstead. Here. Senator Buchelman. Senator Cleveland. Here. Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator Kemmerer.
Here.
Senator Knall.
Here.
Senator Knapp.
Here.
Senator Mindall.
Here.
Senator McConnell.
Here.
Senator Moniat.
Here.
Senator Perry.
Here.
Senator Pitcock.
Here.
Senator Ricks.
Here.
Senator Sahene.
Here.
Senator Sheldon.
Here.
Senator Smith.
Here.
Senator Thayer.
Here.
Senator Underwood.
Here.
Senator Valencia.
Present.
Senator Withers.
Present.
Will all please arise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Senator Pitcock.
Move to approve the minutes from last week's meeting.
Seconded.
Senator Pitcock moves to approve the minutes from last week's meeting, seconded by Senator Withers. Unanimous was called. Motion carries. Senator Pitcock.
Move to approve this week's agenda.
Second.
Senator Pitcock moves to approve this week's agenda, seconded by Senator McConnell. Unanimous was called. Motion carries. We'll now turn to the gallery if there's anyone that would like to approach the Senate at this time. And if, as you approach the Senate, if you wouldn't mind stating your name and spelling it for the minutes, please.
Michelle Price, Michellelleprice. And I am the president of the Interested Ladies of Lambda Theta Alpha Latin Sorority Incorporated at ISU. I have to say the whole name. But we are doing an event for our philanthropy, and it's St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And if you guys don't know, it's a non-profit organization, so they provide all care for children for no cost. So children can go there for housing, medicine, for no cost at all. And so we're doing a cheer card, and Senator Valencia has them in her hand, and she's going to pass them around. But just asking ISU students to make cards to help the children at the hospital just become cheerful. The only thing that St. Jude's requires is that you don't remind them of their sickness, so just don't say get well soon. Something more motivating about like you're awesome, your smile makes everyone happy. That's the only thing that they require. So I'm going to leave some cards with Senator Valencia, and they'll be in the office by tomorrow morning. So if you guys could just fill them out, there's going to be crayons there, stamps are there, markers, and just to be awesome for you guys to help us out.
Are there any questions? Ms. Price. All right.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Santa, for having me. My name is Andres Zamora. You need me to spell it, Zara?
I got it.
Cool. So my fraternity, Lambda Theta Phi, we are having our second annual chili cook-off this year. It's on March 19th from 11 to 1 at the Canoe Room, or which is the little quad section where people eat. You know, it's $15 to sign up. And if you participate and you win, it's $150. So that's a little nice bonus. If not, it's $2 to come in, try the chili. And we will have like a list of ingredients of each chili so that if you're allergic to something, you know in advance. Yeah, it's open to any students, any club. Greatly appreciate it if you were able to pass the message on to your clubs. And if you have any questions, you can, I guess, ask now or get in contact with myself. I can leave you my email, which is zamond2@isu.edu. You guys have any questions for me?
Senator Sheldon.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for coming. What are the dates again? Dates and times, and then also is there a specific cutoff date for the sign up?
The date of the event is March 19th from 11 to 1. And then The last cutoff day would be the 18th. So it's $15 to register. And we will be tabling the rest of this week as well as next week, handing out flyers and whatnot. So, any other questions?
All right. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you, Senate.
Is there anyone else that would like to approach the Senate at this time? All right. If not, we will move to our president's report with President Tini.
Good evening, Senate. Great to be with you once again. We're off to a good start in the week. Senator Valencia will probably report a little more on this. We completed all of our hearings from our line items. So from this point on, we will be deliberating to set the budget, the plan. We'll definitely be deliberating next week during our meeting. We may be meeting at other times as well, but we're not sure. But if you want to be a part of that process, at least in a more in-depth level, feel free to come to that finance meeting next week. And we hope to get our final recommendation to you either next week or the week after. I do have a letter that is addressed to ASISU that I will read. It says, "Dear ASISU, we appreciate your support of our recent fundraising activity on February 7th, 2015. Our mini golf in the Ogler Library was a great success because of supporters like you. Your donation of $250 will be used to purchase student area furnishings and other items to support our mission to provide resources to our student population. We have included a score sheet from our event. As we look forward to the 2016 event scheduled for February 6, 2016, we hope that you would continue your valued support. Feel free to contact us anytime. Appreciatively, Carl Bridges." So thank you for your efforts there and your decision to donate to them. They really appreciate it. They also sent this really nice picture of 3 of our finest senators. I'll give you a chance to look at it. Other than that, no new news really. Just been really busy with those finance hearings this week. Just to remind you that this Saturday is the final home game for the men's basketball team. That we will be, Jameson or Vice President Basto and myself will be attending for sure. We'll meet at the Senate room at about 6:30 to pick up the T-shirts. I guess this will be the last time. So can I just get a sight of the hands who I can count on being there with us? Good to know.
Senator Perry.
Point of clarification, do we need to wear that shirt when we go to this event?
I was just going to talk about that. I think it's a nice idea. Yeah, I think we should wear that shirt. And if you want to wear your name tag as well, just maybe so we can stick out in a little bit, so they maybe can understand who we are and why we're giving away these T-shirts. So if you can, please wear that T-shirt. If you didn't raise your hand, please feel free to come meet us at 6:30 or just to meet us at Holt Arena. I think it'll be a good time. I know for a fact that Vice President Basto is a little bit crazy at basketball games, so I think we'll have a good time. Are there any questions?
Any questions for President Tingy? Senator Sheldon.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, President. So, Clint, here's the question. I will be out of town during the next finance meeting. Is there any chance that I could Skype in to kind of hear what you guys are saying and get a better understanding of what the process is going through?
Yes, we can make sure that's available for you. We do use the computer screen or the screen in the meeting, but I don't think that'll be an issue for you to Skype in. But yeah, if that's something you would like, just so you can hear the conversation and the reasoning, that'd be great. I think it would make the process a whole lot smoother in here because essentially you all set the budget. We just make a recommendation to you. So if you don't trust us, you can come listen. And even if you do trust us, you can come listen.
Any other questions for President Tingy? All right.
Thank you.
President. All right, at this time, we'll now move to chair and committee reports. We will begin with Senate Pro Temp's Chair Committee with Senator McConnell.
Thank you. Our next meeting is this Saturday. The time is to be determined so we can accommodate for our College of Education senators who can't make the time of 3 o'clock. So for the committees who have yet to meet, just get something for your chairs to report to us so we can help you.
Senator Valencia.
College of Education senators are just kidding. We can attend at 3 o'clock. Our time's got mixed up.
All right, thank you. We'll now move to our Finance Committee with Senator Valencia.
Thank you, Chair. I feel like I'm talking a lot today, so we had a few match deposit requests. First, Future Healthcare Practitioners of America, they did a Valentine's Day basket raffle, so we're matching $103 for them. NSCS, they did some t-shirt sales, matching $145.16. ASL Club, we're matching the full $400 for the silent weekend registration and t-shirt sales. Nepalese Student Association for their cultural night and maxing at $400. And then ITS, I don't know what that stands for. All it says is ITS. Toolkit sales, popping candy sales for $325, which is match deposit at $1,373.16. Is there any questions on those match deposits? Move to approve match deposits for $1,373.16.
Senator Valencia moves to approve the match deposits totaling $1,373.16, seconded by Senator Pickhock. Roll call.
Senator Beckstead,
Yes.
Senator Cleveland,
Yes.
Senator Johnson,
Yes.
Senator Kremer,
Yes.
Senator Knall,
Yes.
Senator Knapp,
Yes.
Senator Mandal,
Abstain.
Senator McConnell,
Yes.
Senator Munia,
Yes.
Senator Perry, Senator Pitcock, Senator Ricks,
Yes.
Senator Sahene,
Yes.
Senator Sheldon,
Yes.
Senator Smith, Senator Thayer,
Yes.
Senator Underwood,
Yes.
Senator Valencia,
Yes.
Senator Withers.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Again, on the hearings, if you guys are able to go, please do. It really, really helps when it comes to making the decision of where to cut, if we do have to cut. Just overall helps you be more informed. And then finance will get out to you when we're meeting and what time and what room. And then any questions on those? Okay, so thank you to the 2 senators who showed up to finance today to hear the contingency fund request. And so they asked for the full $5,000. That is the max that we can give them. $3,000 for an event that they had already attended, which we can't reimburse on that. They didn't know that we couldn't reimburse. They asked for $1,800 for a varsity cup tournament, and then the remainder $200 for some safety equipment. After a long deliberation in finance, we ended up deciding that $900 to be allotted for the varsity cup tournament, and then the $200 that they asked to pay for equipment. I want to let the men's rugby captain, president, come talk to you guys about it. So I'm going to yield some time to them so they can explain some stuff to you.
We appreciate you guys for your time. Hey, do you guys need our names or? Good.
Yeah, if you can spell out your name for the minute.
Zundel, Zundel. last name Molifua, Molifua.
I am Luke Woodward, LukeWoodward.
So yeah, I guess to recap, we were just in the finance, the meeting, the contingency funding meeting, and we didn't realize that we couldn't be reimbursed for. I guess first off, let me just say that we're grateful to be here, and we're grateful to be in front of you guys, and we're grateful for the amounts that have already been allotted. But in saying that, we didn't realize that $3,000 of what we were asking for would have no chance of being put through at all, and so that's why we're kind of coming to you guys to appeal, I guess, or ask you guys. We kind of structured our contingency funding plan based on the idea of the most immediate things to be paid off first. If we would have realized that one, like I said, the biggest thing we were asking for couldn't be paid off at all, then we would have structured it a little bit differently. So I guess what we're asking for now is if we might be able to get a little bit more leniency towards equipment and safety gear as we go forward. We only put $200 there because we knew we had a $5,000 cap. We would have put in more if we would have known, we would have restructured it if we didn't want what we had the Red Rock for that reimbursement for that travel, which we didn't know that couldn't be reimbursed. So the only reason we put 200 there is because, like I said, it was just whatever we had left, and we didn't think it was as immediate as some of the other items. Safety equipment to us is a big deal. As you know, it's a rugby. It's a tough sport. A lot of people get injured. There's always injuries, and we feel like if we update our equipment and update our pads and safety gear, that we can, hopefully reduce some of the amount of injuries that occur on the field while playing. And we went over the numbers. Luke kind of was actually just right before the meeting was just looking at some of how much pads cost to buy for rugby and for some safety gear costs, and it's quite expensive. And I'll let him tell you the numbers, I guess.
Yeah. So what we see, simply put, we had a lot of two costs. So we had our travels and that fees, and then we also had our field equipment fees, and we were prepared to incur the field equipment fees, more of that, but we were seeing maybe kind of structuring that where we have like our big body bags. If we were to buy 3 of those, it would be just like 3 kind of human-sized body bags. That's $780 alone, $260 each. And then we have hit shields, which are just like a small shield, kind of like protecting the arm and stuff, something that to hit. Those are around $140 each, and that would, if we got about 5 of those, which is a pretty modest number, that's $700. So we're close to $1,500 on just 8 pads
and
equipment.
And pertaining more to safety gear, the average, I just bought one, so I know the average scrum cap, which is like helps prevent concussions and head trauma, and any kind of contact with the head, is about $85 for each one. And I know last time when the previous president came and asked for this funding, that's a lot of what we got. And those players have then took their scrum caps and they've been used and they kind of deteriorated. And also shoulder pads, which right now is about 50% of our injuries are due to shoulders. People can't lift, there's a lot of contact in the shoulders, and those are about the same price, about $85. It's just like what football players kind of wear under their pads. It's around that same price, a little bit more extensive, a little more padded than that. But and so those are also priced that for safety gear that we would like to use if we could to help our players out a little bit. Do you guys have any questions for us, or?
Senator Smith.
Thank you. Thank you guys for coming and talking to us. I guess the biggest question we would have is how much do you think you would need above what has already been requested as we given you for the budget?
Right. That's a very good question. So you guys have already allotted $200 towards field equipment. So I would say if we were to switch that, maybe about $1,300 field equipment. And we're also, like we said, very thankful for what you guys have allotted towards the varsity fees.
Senator Johnson.
Thank you for coming and explaining to us what you already explained to finance, but how many people do you have on your team?
So we have about 22 registered members. And so those are like the full-time kind of people and stuff. And so we're, well, I mean, that kind of answers the question.
Senator Thayer.
Thank you, Chair. So correct me if I'm wrong, but according to the records that I found, in 2010, the ASIC Senate awarded you $5,000 contingency funding and you guys put that towards bleachers. And then in 2012, they gave you the 5,000 amount again and you put that towards equipment. Is that correct?
Partial equipment, partial like safety gear, like scrum caps and shoulder pads, which have then been used by players and rugby. We have a lot of players come and go, and so they've been used, and people are graduating and whatnot. So they kind of take them because no one wants a used scrum cap and used shoulder pads that have been played in, a lot of matches in. So that's kind of why right now, like if you ask the guys who there's probably like 4 players on a team who still have their original scrum caps and shoulder pads to this day. So
another thing, these bags are getting hit and stuff, and they get weathered and whatnot. And I recall just our last game, just like hitting the bags and stuff, and then we have like foam flying out of them and stuff. So we were just hoping to replace the not defected, but just the worn out bags.
So much duct tape can do to keep them together. Very true.
Senator Sahani.
So from my understanding, does that mean that anytime you get a new person or a new member coming on board, you need to get new stuff for him?
No, not necessarily. So we run a lot of, personal thing. We have a lot of personal costs. So for the most part, we try to encourage players to get their own rugby ball, their own cleats, like all that stuff. And that's included with the scrum cap. But some players aren't able to afford that, and we don't want to deny safety to players who are able to afford it. So we definitely try to press that they get their own equipment, and that it's pretty simple. You can order online, but we don't hand out scrum caps, which are the helmet things, and shoulder pads to every player who comes in. If that makes sense.
Senator Kemmerer.
I know one thing we talked about while we were discussing this in finance is the sustainability. You guys keep up and asking every 2 years, $5,000. When will this stop? The contingency fund is not meant to sustain a club or a group or that for a sustainable amount of time. That's eventually it's got to stop. How do you stop that?
To be honest, the rugby club makes a lot of money through fundraising and donations, and we also spend a lot of money every year because we do compete, and it's tough. To be honest, I don't know if it will stop because there's so many tournaments that we have to pay for ourselves, and there's so many things, and there's so many safety. We have a soccer field, the same size as a soccer field. We have to keep up. We have to maintain. We have to pay for it to get spray painted every game. We have goalposts that have to be maintained. It's an expensive sport. It's like funding any other team that travels a lot and has a high maintenance cost. And so it's like I understand where you're coming from. At the same time, there's a good 22 players out there that work really hard every year, and there's usually always around that same amount of players. It's what we do, and it's an expensive sport. I'm not going to go. There's no easy way around it, but we're here, and we like to be here, and we like to represent Idaho State, and so we try to as hard as we can, and
and also, but to provide hope towards that is, if you recall how we were talking about the varsity entry fee being quite high this year, and that was one of the costs that was set on us that we are quite prepared for. But that will be going down as the Varsity Cup becomes more and more popular and more fan supported. If that makes sense.
Senator Smith, with final comments on the topic.
I think it's important to remember that this group is the only sporting club on campus, and that we go to almost as many sporting events as our regular teams on campus and are paying all of that out of pocket. So yes, it makes sense that they need money every 2 years, because if our football team wasn't funded entirely, they wouldn't have the money to go to all of the games they go to as well. So that's something to kind of keep in mind, is like, yes, they're asking for money, but if you've ever been to a rugby team game, you would know that all of their equipment gets ripped almost every single match because of how intense of a sport rugby really is.
And to expand on that, thank you. And there's a lot of things, like just recently it didn't come out of our fees, but we didn't ask for the university to pay for it, but we spent about $3,500 on new uniforms not this fall, but last fall before that, and those uniforms are pretty already beat up. And I mean, it was the $3,500, and those have already pretty much, it's like time to start thinking about new uniforms for our club. And we've done some good, I guess, searching for good deals, but that's not something we're bringing up. But like I said, like she said, there's a lot of money that goes into this every year that needs to sustain, I guess.
Senator Sahaney, your final comments?
I think the point Senator Smith made is quite a tangible one, but I think in as much as we try to fund them, or in as much as we just have the club at the heart of ASISU, we should try as much as possible to find ways to cut costs. You can't just come here every 2 years, as my brother was saying, and just come and make 5,000. I think what even from his own speech, he was like, when they get new stuff for people, they go and people come in and they don't want to use the used stuff. If sometimes when you're doing something, you just have to put yourself in that shoe. Even if it's your own money using it to buy, or you having this personal club and you buying stuff and somebody uses it, so you get a new member and the person doesn't want to use it, you have to come for another 5,000 to get new equipment or new safety gears. I think it's going to break ASIS. It's going to break this club. We have a lot of clubs on campus who really need, in one way or the other, need this contingency fund. We just can't be going every back and forth every 2 years for one. I'm not trying to be very personal here, but I think I have to tell the truth as I really feel. I think we should really find a way in order to cut costs. I think it is a piece of advice I want to give to you. I don't know whether the finance committee or whoever is in charge is going to approve, but even if you are able to sail through, I think you should find a way in order to be very sustainable. When you get new gears or new safety equipment that you're talking about, when somebody is leaving the club, it is for the club. The person, if it is not spoiled and somebody can use it, the person mustn't send it away. That will help sustain the club.
Well, and let me and I didn't mean to say everyone just takes it, but like I said, it's been used. And if I was to bring in a pair of scrum cap and shoulder pads and said, hey, do you want to wear this to the next match for someone who's been wearing it for 2 years, I think a lot of you would say no. And so that's kind of why we bring that up. And another thing, when you talk about money, is that this rugby club, I don't think a lot of people realize how many people have come to this school just for this rugby club and how much money that brings into the university itself. There's a lot of people that come to Idaho State over Boise State, over BYUI, over Utah State, so that they can play rugby for Idaho State. And that's a lot of money that comes in every year. Luke, that was probably one of the reasons Luke came here from Colorado. I remember him saying that when he first came on the field.
Senator Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you guys for showing up. I think the biggest part for those that aren't fully in support of this right now is just the fact of why are you guys worth it? What's the investment to the students? I think you kind of hit that on the head. You guys are on the map. That's awesome. I think your win-loss ratio versus some other sports on campus shows that you guys are worth it. Is there maybe another one or two things that you want to throw into that? Just why you guys are worth it?
I just think just like how much we support the community and stuff, we have really strong supporters and stuff. We sell hot dogs every Monday outside of Hooligans as one of our fundraisers, one of our many different fundraisers. But we have some people, they come and they're like, oh, I know ISU Rugby, you guys are really cool, and they'll pay $20 for a hot dog just to support us. And that, it's really, I feel like that we're really strong within the community, within sports clubs, outside the community, like alumni, and just all around in general. We really don't have many boundaries. Like we were talking in the previous meeting, the year before, we actually helped make a hockey rink up in Chubbuck and stuff. So we try to help out in all forms of community.
Senator Withers.
Thank you, Chair. I would just like to reiterate my appreciation for you guys because you, like you said, you guys are not just all about rugby. You're a very strong influence on this campus. You bring a lot of people to this campus, and then you bring them to a lot of events that we host on this campus. And I also appreciate the fact that you're requesting money in regards to safety. We have senators that have studied how the effects of concussion and stuff have on individuals and injuries. And I think it's very important to maintain those safety standards. And so if the equipment is failing or if it's going missing and stuff, I almost deem it our responsibility to help you out with that. So.
Senator Johnson, your final comments.
Thank you guys for being here. I recognize that you guys probably do have a high turnover in materials because of the sport. And the $5,000 probably hasn't sustained you that you got 2 years ago. So what is it that you've done to get money in the meantime for the rest of the stuff you're using? And do you have any other funding that you get normally? Because I know that you are a club, but you're also a sport club, which is a little different.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, we sell hot dogs every Monday. Different ideas on that. So we have shifts and we work that. And then we just recently, 3 weeks ago, I believe, had a dodgeball tournament in Reed Gym where we invited sports clubs and other groups to come together and is with the entry fee. And so we did fundraising with that, the hockey rink I mentioned. And then we also look into, we really dive deep into player family donations and stuff. We try to get our players to find funds in those routes.
Yeah, a lot of our expenses are covered by our player dues and fees. We do get a small allotment from Club Rec, but that usually just covers like maybe the first away game, and we have to pay conference fees as well, and those just have increased. Rugby, and sorry to be a little bit more broad, but rugby in the United States is actually one of the fastest growing sports, and so to compete and to continue competing, it's just going to be more. It's going to be a more costly game. It's going to be a lot more time for us. But yeah, in the previous years, we always go to companies. 2 years ago, like I said, we got really lucky with the hockey rink. That was a nice paycheck for us, and also a couple company donations. Being a Memorial and Rockwell Homes at Idaho Falls gave us a couple $1,000s as well. But those aren't consistent. Those aren't consistent income. It's something that just kind of hit and miss. Depending on the company, it's depending on when you hit them and who knows who. It's just so it's not really reliable. But basically, a lot of it's been paid for by the players.
Senator Perry, your final comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So point of clarification for all you guys out there. As far as I was concerned during the finance meeting, it was addressed that you guys are not a club, so you don't receive Caesar funding. Also, you guys have mentioned multiple times how you're super involved with not only on campus, but also in the community. Without that Caesar funding, I feel like that's part of the problem where you guys fall short. You guys still consistently show up to things even when you're not getting really anything out of it other than just a fun time. So for all you out there, I think that's also a great reason why they deserve this addition, as well as some miscommunications earlier in their first proposal.
Senator Sheldon.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. I've definitely gone to a rugby game or two, and they're always intense and crazy to watch. I think kind of one of the most important things to remember is how much money we have in our contingency fund and how often it goes just completely unused. We have something over like $200,000 in our contingency fund, 265, 200-ish. So I don't think an extra $1,000 is going to break our bank. While I agree that this shouldn't be your guys' model as far as funding goes, because I think that this should be more of a event or specific time and place and not a recurring thing. I also believe that this is not going to break our bank. And for such an active club on campus and for such an iconic club, I don't see any problems with it.
Senator Mandel.
I would like to use my time, Senator Samuel. Thank you, Senator Mandel. I think I've listened to quite a few senators speak, and I think I have a great accounting background, so when it comes to money, I'm very passionate about it when I'm talking about money. I really understand whatever thing that we wanted to do for the rugby club, but I think from what my brother, Senator Sheldon said right now, I think I really beg to differ. But the fact that we have 265,000 in our account does not mean that anybody can come here. Just come, bring a reason, and because we have that money in the account, we just give the money out. It is for a good cause, I know that. So if there's maybe a tangible reason we're going to base on that to keep the money out, that is fine. But to make a reason that because we have that money in our bank and because of that we should give them 1,000 or extra 1,000 to the club, I think I beg to differ.
Senator Moniat.
Thanks for coming again. I've never been to a rugby game, but I feel like I should now that I've heard more about it. But I also have to agree with a lot of senators how you're not just coming here asking for money because, oh, they're just going to give it to us. You have gone out, you've done all you can to try to get the money, and you're just asking for a little help. And since I feel like you guys do so much that we should give it to you because safety is a huge issue and we want our players to be safe and our students to be safe. And that's kind of what I think on this.
Senator Valencia, your final comments on the topic.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I always say that the Senate should be arguably some of the most involved students on campus. And I feel like everywhere I'm at, these guys are, and it's not just the minimum 6. It's half the team, the whole team. They're always cheering. They're always like the biggest crowd in their own little section, cheering on men's basketball, women's basketball, soccer games, like anything that they can go to. And it kind of sucks on their part because a lot of people don't get to go to their events because football conflicts with them and things like that. I don't know, from someone that goes to all these events that likes to support people, I wish it wasn't every 2 years that you guys were coming for this, but it's unfortunate that money doesn't come into you guys as often. And we said 1,100 in finance. You guys are asking for 1,100 more, so the 2,200. Just take it for what it's worth. A lot of us haven't even been to a rugby game. I have, I'll say that, but the contingency fund request from previous years has been used for different things. Safety is really important. These guys do a lot on campus. That's all.
Senator Pitcock.
Move to discuss the rugby request.
Second.
Senator Pitcock moves to discuss the rugby request, seconded by Senator Sheldon. Unanimous was called. Motion carries. Senator Pitcock.
So as I talked about in finance, I would like to see $2,000 for the rugby team, $1,800 for their varsity cup entry fee. So we keep them going to events. And this is just the entry fee. There are many other costs that are associated with that. And yes, they do have money in their account, but that money can go towards helping fund their travels. These guys pay for everything out of pocket for the most part. They do fundraisers and they do get donations. But I'm not saying that we're here to give them $5,000 or that we should just give them money because they're asking for it. I'm saying that we should give them money because they've earned it. They're all ASISU students, whether they're an ASISU club or not. That doesn't matter to me. They're all students. And everybody who goes to these events, enjoy them. Get something out of it. It's something different. It's a sport that's coming up and it's continuing to do well. So I think the only proper thing is to at least allot them $2,000, $1,800 for their entry fee so they can go and compete, $200 for equipment, because we have given money for equipment in the past, and I think you could get good donations for equipment as well as use some money of it that's in your account. But I feel like 2,000 isn't too much. You know, it's not the full 5, but I feel like they deserve it, and that's what we should give them.
Senator Kemmer, your final comments on the topic?
Didn't we just move to discussion? Doesn't that give me another?
We're still on the same topic.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be the one that says it. When they came and asked, I said 600. I said, let's cover up to the $2,000 they need for equipment and for the entry fee. When it comes down to it, I think they're abusing the system. I believe in 2 years, they'll be here for $5,000 again. 2 years after that, I believe they'll be here for $5,000 again. I think they messed up and didn't do it early enough. I think if they came earlier, we would have given it to them. We wouldn't have said anything. But the fact that we found that it's been a recurring thing, I generally think they're working the system. So I will not vote for anything more than 1,100.
Senator Pickback, your final comments.
I'd like to say that the contingency request isn't just for emergencies or just for every 2 years. It's to further the name of the students of Idaho State University. And I believe the rugby team does that in every single thing that they do, whether it's on the field, at a basketball game, a football game, whatever sport it is, whatever they're doing. They're black and orange all the time. They're ASISU through and through. And I feel like if they come back every 3 years and they continue to do well, we should continue to support them. And if you have a problem with that, I'm sorry, but this is my personal belief on it. And I believe that should also continue with the students because they're students. They're helping other students by providing an activity that is great and is different. And we should continue supporting that. $2,000 is a lot to ask for as far as I'm concerned.
Senator Knapp.
I'm in full support of supporting these guys. I've been to rugby games. They do really well. They help recruit students here. Students come specifically for rugby from different high schools. I also think that it's important to consider what they're asking to use the money for. I think that's really vital. They're using the money to help their program keep progressing. They're using the money to keep their program alive. So I think we really need to consider that this is a great program we have. We're lucky to have these guys here, and we need to make sure that we're helping them if they need it. And I think it's fine if I don't think they're trying to abuse the system. I think that they're doing what they can and they're asking for help. And we're here to help students. And I feel like this is one small way we could help students.
Senator Sheldon, your final comment.
I feel like we've all talked about this enough. I think we all know whether or not we're going to vote yea or nay. So I move to approve the rugby team for $2,000 contingency funding, $1,800 going to the varsity cup, and $200 for equipment.
Seconded.
Second, Senator Sheldon moves to approve the ISU Rugby Club for a contingency request of $2,000 with $1,800 going to the varsity cup entry fee and $200 going to the equipment. Seconded by Senator Beckstead. Roll call.
Senator Beckstead?
Yes.
Senator Buchelman?
Yes.
Senator Cleveland? Senator Johnson?
Yes.
Senator Kemmerer?
Yes.
Senator Knall?
Yes.
Senator Knapp? Yes. Senator Mandal?
Yes.
Senator McConnell?
I will. So first of all, that wasn't what you guys asked for, was it? 2,000? You asked for 1,100, which was approved by the finance, and then an additional 1,300 for field equipment, right?
Correct. We don't know if that's what you guys need, like, restructure that or.
Was that the intention of the motion? Was 2,000 just like a round number? I don't know if this is the appropriate, this is
Can't
not the
ask questions. It's a
appropriate
vote, yes or no,
Okay, perfect.
or abstain, or pass.
Pass.
Senator Moniak? Yes. Senator Perry?
Unfortunately, Senator McConnell kind of said my same thing. I still think it should be more. You guys did request more. Like I said, due to miscommunications, we didn't get that, unfortunately. If this outcome isn't what you guys expected, you can always still pull your application and reapply next fall. So that I'll just keep that in mind, I guess. But someone who's better than nothing, so I say yes.
Senator Pitcock,
Yes.
Senator Ricks,
Yes.
Senator Sahene,
Pass.
Senator Sheldon,
Yes.
Senator Smith, Senator Thayer,
Excuse me. So I'm going to stand by my original motion that I made in finance for the 1100 and vote no.
Senator Underwood,
I think this club is very involved with, everything else on campus, and I agree with Senator Perry that they deserve more. But again, something's better than nothing, so yes.
Senator Valencia,
We can all have the power to say no, vote it down, make a new motion. It's up to you guys. So with that, I'm going to say no. That way it can be taken down. Up to you guys what you guys want to do with it. So if it's voted down, people can change their votes. It's up to you. So I'm just going to say no and take it for what it is.
Senator Withers,
I'm going to follow Senator Valencia's advice, and I'm going to vote no in the hope that someone will re-motion for this bill at a larger amount than $2,400 that was requested originally. So no.
Senator Cleveland,
I'm gonna piggyback on that and say no.
Senator Kemmerer,
I still think they should get $600. I think it's a terrible precedent we're setting right now. I hope every club, every group, anybody that needs money comes and asks for $5,000 every 2 years. With that, no.
Senator Mandal, Senator McConnell,
So in finance, you were approved for $1,100. You asked for an increase in $1,300. We're doing the motion right now for $2,000. So I think that that's a solid, not exactly in the middle. I already mentioned that I'm not very good at math, so I understand that I'm wrong with saying we're meeting in the middle, but I'm going to vote yes on 2,000.
Senator Sahene,
I'm not trying to be very personal here. I'm just following my conscience. I think I side with what Senator Kemmerer said. You just can't come every 2 years to ask for 5,000. You have a lot of clubs on campus. And if you should go ahead approving 2,000 every 2 years, you're setting a bad precedence of which we don't want to be part. So based on that, I vote no.
Senator Smith,
I think it's a terrible precedent to have students who pay into this organization every year and come and ask us for money because they're paying into us and that's where this fund is coming from, and we're refusing to give them money. As somebody who's played 2 games of rugby, I know how hard it is. I know what they do every single game. I was terrified. I ran in circles because it was terrifying. And these people do it every day because they love it. And they come to ISU and they do things at ISU because they love Idaho State University. We say we want to increase involvement. We say we want to increase orange and black. And then we scuffle over giving people the money when they're trying to do that. And I think that is terrible, and that's why involvement is so terrible at Idaho State University. And with that, I say no in the hopes that we can get you guys $5,000 or as much as we possibly can.
Would anyone like to change their vote? Senator Beckstead. Senator Moniak.
I changed my vote to no.
Senator Perry.
Although stated a little sarcastically, I do agree with what Senator Kemmerer said. I do think our students should be able to apply every couple of years. That's what the contingency fund's there for. That's why I put it in the budget. It's awesome to see that this many people.
Yes or no? Senator Knapp.
No.
Senator Johnson.
No.
Senator Kemmerer.
Yes.
Senator Thayer,
Yes.
Senator Sahani,
Yes.
Senator Underwood,
No.
motion fails. Senator Pitcock, granted. Senator Valencia,
Question first. I can make a new motion now, correct? Okay. And may I ask them a question just so we're all clear?
no.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I move to approve the ISU men's rugby team for contingency for $2,400.
Second.
Senator Valencia, would you like to specify that request?
$1,800 for the Varsity Cup, and the remainder of the monies allotted for safety equipment.
Senator Valencia would like to move to approve a contingency fund request to ISU rugby of $2,400, $1,800 to the Varsity Cup, thank you, and the remaining funds to equipment, seconded by Senator Beckstead. Roll call.
Senator Beckstead?
I would just like to say that if it wasn't for their safety equipment, I would have been rushed to the hospital with concussion, so I know what they've been through and I know how hard they work. So with that, I vote yes.
Senator Buchelman?
Yes.
Senator Cleveland?
Yes.
Senator Johnson?
Pass.
Senator Kemmerer?
Pass.
Senator Knall?
Yes.
Senator Knapp?
Yes.
Senator Mandel?
Pass.
Senator McConnell?
Yes.
Senator Moniak?
Yes.
Senator Perry? Senator Pitcock? Here. Senator Ritz?
Yes.
Senator Sahene?
Pass.
Senator Sheldon?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to do $2,000 to just get under everyone's radar. I was attempting to find a compromise, but I'm all right with 2,400, so I'll vote yes.
Senator Smith?
A resounding yes.
Senator Thayer?
No.
Senator Underwood?
Yes.
Senator Valencia?
I would just like to mention, Zendel, you have orange and black bracelets on your wrist. So you guys really do wear orange and black all the time. And I have gone to rugby games, but I obviously need to go more now. So I appreciate what you guys do. Others may not. I may not give you guys as much as attention, but I promise that I'm going to do that in the coming year. So I vote yes.
Senator Withers?
Yes.
Senator Johnson?
I hope, I think some people might have cold feet, and maybe that's perhaps because you guys just had a new number for equipment out of nowhere. But I can say for sure that I look at you guys and I think, oh my gosh, concussions. And I know how much that headgear costs. And I think we need to protect our players, especially players that do so much for our school. And with that, I say yes.
Senator Kemmerer?
I don't like being the bad guy. I never have been. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. I really hope I'm wrong. I hope this isn't something that just gets passed down from club president to say, hey, 2 years from now, go get this. I hope I'm really wrong about that. I still have to vote no.
Senator Mandel?
I still feel that this is a little bit bending the rules of contingency funding. I think if I understand that rugby is an expensive game, so we should, rather than providing contingency funding, we should fill for university funding and set it up as a real sports club so that they can get university money. Maybe not from contingency funding, so with that I vote no.
Senator Pitcock? Oh, you're not. Senator Sahene?
Let me not be misconstrued that because I beg to differ, somebody might think I'm against the club personally, as I've already made that point. rugby, as my brother said, we all know it's very expensive and it's an expensive sport. But I just want to, personally, I want to ensure sanity as to how the contingency fund is really dispersed or how it is, like how it applies. So based on that, I say no.
Would anyone like to change their vote? Motion carries. Senator Valencia, anything else you'd like to add?
There is nothing else that I need to talk about unless anybody has any questions for me.
Thank you. Thank you, ICU Rugby.
Thank you.
Rules Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I stated in caucus, we are going to hold the bill. I don't have the bill number, but the bill in rules for another week in hopes that I can get some answers for you guys for some questions that I have, as well as that you guys have expressed. President Tingey and I are going to meet tomorrow and discuss and try and find some more answers out. So while we won't be discussing the bill today, if you guys have any other questions or anything, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Perry.
I'd like to recognize.
Recognize. Appointments and review.
We haven't met because there's not anything left to discuss. But I just I saw that there was a note on the whiteboard in the Senate office we want to talk about communications and outreach, kind of their roles. I would recommend, I know that some of the thoughts have been to join the two. They both serve different purposes, and I know they aren't exactly clear. Maybe the approach to that should be working on differentiating certain things and stating that in our bylaws. I know A&R and rules, they seem very similar to some people, but they have very definite, like, different services that each provide, and combining them wouldn't really do anything for ASISU. In fact, it might set us back a little bit and make us look less reputable. So I'd recommend exploring what each of those committees do as far as communications and outreach, and maybe defining that more. And that might be able to help Senates in the future. Other than that, I have nothing else, unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions for Senator Pico? Outreach Committee, Senator Cleveland.
Thank you. We didn't really discuss much today in our meeting. The only thing coming up is the Tech Expo. So those of you who are signing up, it is not next week. It is in 2 weeks. I was confused when I talked about that earlier today. So it's in 2 weeks. So if you signed up, make sure that you're there. I'll send out an email reminder when it's closer. Other than that, we really don't have anything. So unless you have any questions for me.
Any questions for Senator Cleveland? Communications Committee, Senator Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Communications met today, and we have a couple of things that we wanted to get the whole Senate's take on. I did reach out to the College of Technology for sunglass prices, and so we're waiting to hear back from them to see if we can cut our cost a little bit on that one. Senator Underwood did say that the College of Tech can do decals, and they could do like the ASISU decal if we think that would be popular, or keychains as well. He's showing it if you want to look over there. So I wanted to hear what you guys thought, if you would prefer sunglasses as our item for Instagram, or if you would prefer stickers or keychains. That might be cheaper.
Any questions or comments for Senator Johnson?
Okay. And we do have a nomination. We have Jeffrey Solarin. He's the best is his nomination. His average last season was 10 points per game. He plays the center, but he excels in the classroom as well. He also participates in the Big Brother, Big Sister program as a mentor. He's a great role model for ISU to younger people and all over.
And Senator Johnson, could you spell that for the minute?
It's Jeffery Solarin, Solarin.
Okay, thank you.
If there aren't any questions, I'd like to move to approve Jeffrey Solarin as our Bengal of the month.
Senator Johnson moves to approve Jeffrey Solarin as our Bengal of the month, seconded by Senator McConnell. Unanimous was called. Motion carries.
We also have an example, or we will have an example of what we'd like to be playing before the movies at the Bengal Movie Theater in about 2 weeks. We'll discuss it as a committee and then I'll bring it to you. So if you have any ideas, let Senator Sheldon know things that you would like to be seen in that. Otherwise, that's it.
All right. Thank you. Senator Smith, Service Committee. Senator Pickoff.
How's the t-shirt contest looking? Are we doing that or what?
Yeah, we do want to do it for the month of March, and we sent our poster to Creative Productions, and they have not gotten back to us with it. So as soon as we get the poster from them, we'll send it out to the ASICU mailing list, and if we need to do it into April, we will move it into April if we don't have enough time left.
Senator Sheldon.
Thank you, Chair. Do you still want me to talk, Katie?
Sure.
Okay, so to clarify more on what Senator Pitcock mentioned earlier, the idea of combining outreach and communications, we feel like our main oversight is the fact that neither committee plans events or does anything in particular for Pocatello campus. They both, one of them kind of talks about communicating, and the other is specifically outreach campuses and doing things at outreach campuses, getting at outreach campuses involved. But neither of them are involved in Pocatello campus, and so it's a pretty big loophole. And so the idea was that if we combine the two, we could kind of do the following, because it would be a huge committee. So essentially what we could do is then write a subsequent bill making it so that chairs would only have to be in the committee that they're chairing and the Senate Pro Tem committee. So then it would decrease our numbers. And the idea would that it would be a co-chaired committee with one chair focusing on outreach campuses and the other focusing on the Pocatello campus and communication throughout. And hopefully with the idea that everyone could be a little more focused. And since we would have two different leaders, we could still get two different idea sets. We would just be more effective at doing so, and we wouldn't have the conversation of, oh, that committee's going to do that versus, oh, this committee's going to do that. We would know exactly what that committee was doing.
All right. Senator Smith, Service Committee.
So one big thing that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about from Service Committee is currently there is construction on the 2-mile stretch of the highway that we are supposed to clean up. And I called a couple of people about it, and they said that there's not to be highway cleanup during construction hours. So we would be doing it because construction hours can go anywhere from 6 a.m. to like very late at night where it's dark and dangerous. We might have to look at doing a different service project for this semester unless that construction ends within the next month to 2 months, because otherwise it's not safe is basically what I've gotten a resounding reply from, is that it's not safe for us to be out on the freeway while there's construction going on, because construction zones are very dangerous. People are typically a little bit leery of construction zones. So I just kind of wanted to put it out to you guys if we do something else.
Senator Kemmerer.
So I believe that construction's for the bridge from 5th Street over to Bannock Highway. So I don't see that finishing up anytime soon. So if you're banking on that finishing up in the next couple months, it's not going to happen.
Then my question to everybody is still, what do we just want to do the one service project this semester of cleaning up the cigarette butts on campus, or do we still want to try and have two? And if we decide to have two, I need help figuring out what another one would be.
Senator Valencia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If the highway cleanup is seeming to be not possible, then we could do the cigarette butt cleanup as well as possibly cleaning up the area around Red Hill, because I know I've done it with my club a few times and it's always dirty. So something to take into consideration, that we could do the cigarette butt cleanup as well as clean up and around Red Hill area.
Senator McConnell.
I think the more service, the merrier. So I would be more than happy to get into contact with some of the people around not only the university, but also the community, and email them to you so you can bring that to your committee and do with that what you will. I think we should do too.
Senator Perry.
Thank you. I think it'd be awesome to get as many senators to serve Saturday as possible. I know that's been lacked lately, and I think it just show one way we get out to our constituents. Also gets us that second service project, which I think is pretty doable.
Any other comments, Senators?
That was basically the biggest one, was just kind of trying to bounce ideas off of you guys as to what we'd like to see as a service committee and as a service project, because there's a lot of different things we can serve on. Typically, we don't do Service Saturday as the ASISU one because that is more of a club thing. And so if you're coming for an ASISU reason, I don't believe you can also be signed in as a club, which I'm not sure if that's the truth. But that was also always the one that we gave to student people if they couldn't make it to a service event. So that would be taking it down from the other options that we were giving people.
Senator Perry.
So I guess for point of clarification, are you looking for more of a ISU or ASISU sanctioned service project, or just another service project that we want to get done?
Well, it says in the thing ASISU sanctioned, so it technically wouldn't be sanctioned by us if it was an SAP or another organization, and so therefore it wouldn't follow our bylaws as service committee if we did it with another group, unless we paired with them.
So we are looking for specifically.
Senator Withers.
You kind of addressed my suggestion already. I know that one of my clubs, the Phi Delta Chi, they have a highway cleanup project as well, and so maybe pairing with them or something would be a potential idea.
Senator Peacock.
As far as my understanding, if we did do Service Saturday, SAB is an ASISU organization, therefore it would be ASISU sanctioned, even though the Senate is not sanctioning it. Technically, we kind of do sanction it by giving them the money to do it, and they are our organization, and we could definitely be there, and people still count as clubs. I mean, there's people that go to the same events that are part of separate clubs that claim both all the time, and so the more the merrier.
Senator Sahani. Granted. Any other questions or comments for Senator Smith? All right. As we do not have any old business to discuss at this time, we'll now go to, is there anyone that would like to approach the Senate at this time from the gallery? No? Okay. We'll now go to the other category and have our pro tem vote of confidence. You do have pieces of paper in front of you. If you please vote and hand them down. And Senator McConnell stays as pro tem. If you all would please rise and join me in the ISU fight song.
Magic Bring the victory home, just to jingle the violence. ISU, ISU, fight, ISU, fight, ISU, fight, go, 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 Bengals, go.
Senator Pitcock.
I'd like to recognize Senator Sahaney.
Recognized. Senator Underwood.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Senator Underwood moves to adjourn, seconded by Senator Sheldon. Unanimous was called by Senator Valencia. Motion carries. We will be adjourned after roll call.
Senator Beckstead. Here. Senator Buchelman.
Here.
Senator Cleveland.
Here.
Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator Kemmerer.
Here.
Senator Knopf. Senator Knapp. Here. Senator Mandal.
Here.
Senator McConnell. Here. Senator Moniak.
Here.
Senator Perry.
Quick sidebar for all you lovely Bengals. I know topics got a little heated tonight. I hope none of you guys take it personally. You all still give me the warm and fuzzies, so I'm here.
Senator Pitcock.
Here.
Senator Ricks.
Here.
Senator Sahenning. Senator Sheldon.
Present.
Senator Smith. Here. Senator Thayer.
Here.
Senator Underwood.
Here.
Senator Valencia.
Present.
Senator Withers.
Present.
This meeting is adjourned.
What?
Down. You always give me the warm and fuzzy.